Welcome to the College Investor Audio Show, where we talk about the biggest issues impacting millennial money, from student loan debt to side hustles to building wealth. We will show you how to get out of debt so that you can build real wealth for the future.
You're returning from a ski trip in Tahoe when the semi-truck in front of you kicks up a few pebbles that shower onto your rental car. Nobody is hurt, but the windshield of the rental car is cracked and the hood of the car is dented. Who will pay for the damages? You? Your car insurance? Rental car insurance from the rental company? Your credit card? That's today's College Investor Audio Show. Thanks for coming along and being with us. Okay, so the world of rental car insurance is completely baffling. But this will be a guide to help you figure out what type of insurance covers what type of accident. And we also explain why skipping rental car insurance isn't a good idea. Let's talk about the types of auto rental insurance. Rental car insurance is pretty much divided into two major coverage categories and a few miscellaneous types of coverage. The two major categories are insurance for damage to others, liability insurance, and insurance for damage to the rental car, collision coverage. In most cases, your personal auto insurance policy will cover liability insurance, but you're better off finding collision coverage through a policy other than your everyday car insurance policy. Liability auto insurance. This is the most important type of rental insurance. It's called liability or even comprehensive insurance. You may have heard that term too. Now, liability insurance covers the damage you do to other people or other property while driving. Every state has a legal minimum insurance requirement for this. If you have car insurance at all, your car insurance will, at minimum, cover liability to others. Usually, the coverage is a minimum of $50,000, but it can go as high as $500K per accident. If you are the cause of a car wreck, your personal auto insurance will nearly always cover your liability while you're driving a rental car. Of course, it is prudent to read your insurance policy or call your agent to double check. Most people who own a car just won't need to buy additional liability while driving in the U.S. or even most international locations. But if you do cause damage to others, you should expect to pay the deductible. It's, whatever your policy says, usually $1,000 or more, before your insurance company will cover the additional damage. However, people who don't have a personal auto insurance policy legally must buy this type of coverage. Most supplemental or collision damage waiver policies don't cover personal liability. That means renters have to buy this insurance through the rental company. Collision or damage waiver insurance is a second type of insurance coverage, and it covers damage to the vehicle you're driving. Collision coverage is not legally required in the U.S., so you won't necessarily have this type of insurance even if you drive regularly. People with older vehicles drop the collision coverage on their cars. I did. If you are someone who has collision coverage on your personal car, that insurance is likely to apply or extend to a rental car too. That being said, you'll need to understand the details of the policy. If you get into an accident, you will certainly have to pay the deductible on your insurance policy, and on top of that, there may be limits on the value of a vehicle that is reimbursed. You'll need to clarify that the collision insurance applies to the full value of replacing a rental car. If it doesn't, you'll probably want to get some form of collision damage waiver or primary auto rental collision coverage. In my experience, collision coverage from a rental company is a ripoff. You'll often pay like $17 to even $25 a day to cover a basic sedan. This is coverage you can get for free through certain credit cards or for like $6 to $10 a day through a third-party insurance company. Miscellaneous coverage. Let's talk about some of those. Now, certain auto insurance policies cover medical expenses that you or your passengers incur. This type of coverage can be useful when traveling abroad where U.S.-based health insurance isn't going to be much of any use. Most of the time, the medical coverage from a personal auto policy will apply when you're abroad. It's pretty cool. Another type of insurance covers your personal property that could be stolen from a rental car. And here's how various types of rental car insurance perform in different accident situations. When it comes to figuring out whether rental car insurance is even worthwhile, it's important to understand how it works in different types of situations. Now, these are some of the most common mishaps and how various insurance options hold up. You cause damage to others while driving a rental car. Personal comprehensive liability coverage. When you have a personal comprehensive or liability auto insurance policy, you will file a claim through your insurance company. The company will assess the damage and pay out the claim to the injured person. You will have to pay your deductible, and you can expect your insurance rates to rise in the future. Coverage purchased through the rental company. When you buy liability insurance through the rental company, it will take care of filing the claim and making sure it gets paid. Just be sure that you talk to the car insurance company as soon as the accident takes place. In most cases, you will not have to pay a deductible. Coverage purchased through a third party. Let's talk about that. Most of the time, third-party insurance only covers damage to the rental car itself. It will not provide damages to other people or property. For example, the third-party insurance companies we'll be talking about just a little bit later, and the credit cards we recommend only offer collision coverage. They will not cover any damage to other people or their property. In the rare case that you purchased temporary third-party liability insurance, file a claim. The insurance company will pay the claim. It may report the claim to an insurance reporting database, which could raise the rates you pay for car insurance in the future. You're in an at-fault accident that damages the rental car. Another situation. And you have only personal collision coverage. So coverage related to rental cars will vary on a policy-by-policy basis. In most cases, your insurance will cover most or all of the cost of repairing the vehicle. If the vehicle is completely totaled, you may have to cover some amount of the cost of replacing the vehicle, since your policy might have limits on the amount of collision coverage. You will have to pay the deductible on your policy, of course, and you should expect your rates to increase. You purchase insurance through the rental car dealership. So if you did buy the collision damage waiver, the rental car company will cover the full cost of repairing or replacing the vehicle. You won't need to file a claim except for the process required by the rental car company, and your insurance rates are not likely to increase. You purchase the primary rental car insurance through a third party, including a credit card. When you have primary collision coverage through a third party, you will need to document the damage and file the claim through your insurance company. If it is insurance provided through a credit card, you should be able to find the information on your credit card provider's website. With primary coverage, the insurance company pays for 100% of the damages. That said, the rental car company may not work nicely with these insurance providers. The contract for insurance is between you and the insurance company, not between you and the rental car company. The rental company may try to get you to pay for the damages, so you have to fight for the reimbursement yourself. If you opt for third-party insurance, it is critical to document all damages and carefully follow the claims process. You have secondary rental car insurance through a credit card. Many travel credit cards offer secondary auto rental collision coverage. When you have secondary coverage through a credit card, you first file a claim through your primary insurance. Once your primary insurance pays its legal obligation, and you pay your deductible, of course, the credit card insurance steps in to cover any gaps in insurance. When you have secondary rental car insurance, you have to file claims with both insurance companies, and your normal insurance rates, they're likely to go up a little bit. While it's nice to have secondary insurance for worst-case scenarios, of course, I don't place any financial value on the secondary rental car insurance provided by credit cards. If you rent a car, you really need primary collision coverage, either through a credit card, a third party, or the rental company itself. If your items are stolen from a rental car, so with a policy from the rental car company, most rental car companies will cover personal effects if you buy the company's total insurance coverage. So if a thief breaks in, steals your laptop, the rental car company will pay to replace it. However, you will have to file a claim and deal with the rental company's insurance hoops to get your money. And they do have a lot of hoops. Any other car insurance product? Let's talk about some other stuff. Most other car insurance products don't cover personal effects. However, your homeowner's or rental insurance might cover stolen goods, even when they're stolen away from home. But you will have to pay the full deductible, often a few $1,000s for home insurance, and your home insurance or rental insurance rates may increase in the following year. Unless you have extremely valuable items stolen, a wedding ring perhaps, you will probably have to pay to replace them yourself. And now we move on to the best places to find primary collision insurance for rental cars. Rental car companies. When you rent a car, you can pay for a collision damage waiver. This completely covers you if the car is damaged or stolen. And it has the least hassle, too. If you're ever using other people's money to rent a car, for example, an employer needs you to travel, use the insurance provided through the rental car company. However, the price tag is hefty and in most cases not worth the money. Most of the time, you should choose one of the other options. Credit card insurance. A lot of travel credit cards advertise rental car insurance, but only a few cards deliver it. The exception to this rule is Chase travel cards, the Chase Sapphire cards, Chase Southwest Airlines cards, and the United Airlines Explorer card all offer primary rental coverage. While all of these cards come with annual fees, the rental car coverage is a valuable perk for anyone who rents a car at least a few days per year. Third-party insurance is another way to do this. Alliance Global Assistance. Now, Alliance is spelled Allianz, Global Assistance. Sure, Bonza, Bonzah, and Insure My Rental Car. They all offer primary collision coverage for just a few bucks a day. In most cases, the cost of insuring the car is less than half of what you would pay at the rental car dealership. If you don't qualify for insurance through a credit card, look to one of these guys. Your everyday car insurance policy could work too. If you have collision coverage on your car and the policy extends to rentals and there's no limit on the value of replacing a vehicle, hey, your everyday insurance policy can cover your rental car too. That said, you should at least have secondary insurance from a credit card to cover any gaps in coverage. Just something to keep in mind. Now, we ask the question, after all of this, should I ever skip rental car insurance? Rental cars are typically newer cars. The last one I rented had 14 miles on the odometer. And you agree to pay for the vehicle if there are damages to it. In a worst-case scenario, you might have to pay $35,000 to $50,000 for a new car. Very few people are wealthy enough to handle self-insuring a rental car. We recommend having some form of rental car insurance whenever you rent a car. Your everyday insurance policy might work if you have collision coverage and the collision coverage extends, but it's better to have a separate policy in place too. For people with established credit, primary auto rental collision insurance from a credit card provider is both cost-effective and sufficient. Those without coverage from a credit card will generally want coverage from a third party for the least expensive auto rental coverage solution. Thanks so much for stopping by today and taking a look at car rental insurance and different options. If you know somebody who could use this knowledge as well, go ahead and forward this on to them. We would be so very grateful if you did that. And we also talked about a few companies here too. You can do your own research, find out more about them at thecollegeinvestor.com. Thanks again. We'll talk to you again very soon.